Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Silent Calls Tarot. I'm Nini, and I'm going to do an energy read for the collective. It's not for any specific sign, but it's for whoever is guided to these messages. All of my information for contacting me is available in the description box below. It'll be the link to my website as well as my email address so you can have direct contact with me. So yeah, let Spirit guide you with these messages, and yeah. Okay, Spirit, I allow you to use me as a vessel. Please help me to hear, speak, and see clearly. And I do thank you for this opportunity. I only allow in spirits, beings, ancestors, angels, guides, ascended masters that are for the highest good and the highest being of the collective. Help us to receive these messages. Okay, so I would say over these past few days, I've been going through, I would say, a lot of expansion of my mind, expansion of my, I would say, of my consciousness, my conscious well-being, or more so like being able to see myself within everything that's going on around me, but seeing how I'm in control of what is going on around me, whether I subconsciously program my surroundings or I consciously program my surroundings. So in this process, they had me to watch the movie The Matrix Reloaded. Now, not the first one, but I think that's the second one, but the Reloaded one. So they had me to take a lot of notes based upon what I was seeing in the movie, and I wrote so many. I'm gonna try to skim through it and go through what I wrote instead of reading everything, but you know, to get the main points across. So they had me to write the date in which I started it, and I started doing this on the 9th of this month, August 9th, 2021. So I added everything up and I came up with the sum of 10, and I wrote completion, depletion. They had me to write about the part, I think this was the beginning of the movie, but they were showing how Trinity had broken into the Matrix, but she was trying to help Neo. She was going off of her, I would say, her human feelings rather than her actual logic here, going off of feelings and not logic, what would truly make sense here. Now they had me to write agent trying to stop her. They then had me to write about where Neo was dreaming about how it was like he was having a premonition of what would happen to Trinity, but he didn't know when, where, how, or whatever it was that was supposed to happen. He just knew that he was going to lose her, or he felt like he was going to lose her, because in the dream he was losing her. Now they had me to write intel, data, trust, the captain, source, Osiris, wanted to know his purpose, remote viewing, ability to see, feel, hear, sense without being there, and Niobe had this ability, a character from the movie. Now they had me to write formation of a glitch for the prophecy to be fulfilled. The oracle must first be given the message, the consultation, purpose, agents trying to stop, protected, connected to highest source. They had me to write simulator, simulation, inception, and I was tying the movie in because as I was watching it, I was like, a lot of this stuff that's going on in this movie is the same stuff that was going on in the Inception movie, and I was tying it in because they were showing how everything was like a computer program. It was a simulation, and everything that was going on, and every person or anything that was in there, it was like a code for the program. It was meant to be there. It was like everything had a purpose for why it was in this simulation. They had me to write upgrades, coming into power, ability to operate the system, gain control. Zion being the mothership home, Nebuchadnezzar, I think that Nebuchadnezzar was their spaceship, and when I was watching it, they had me to write it as it being like the planet Earth or the tribe. They had me to write fate and meant to be. Okay, they had me to write this attack is an attack of desperation. Soon the prophecy will be fulfilled. A matter of time. They had me to write that a lot. A matter of time. Morpheus knew the prophecy, and it was to shed fear and remember the past lives and what was behind. Remember that Okay, I don't know how I wrote that, but I see what I said. But remembering that everything that happened before that moment in time, or like everything that happened before this moment in time, added up to what would be, I would say, what would make up what you are to do in this time to change things or to create a future here. But you had to research and remember who you were, like in past lives. They've been showing me a lot about past lives, regression, past lives, seeing who you were and what you were made up of in a past life, to see why you are the way that you are now, and to know what you are to do as far as the future, creating your own future here. They have me to write, we are not afraid. Ancestors rising. The past, we are still here. Okay, let me just throw that over there. Now, okay, this is where they were showing me like Neo and Trinity and their relationship, but more so them as being like what we consider as the twin flame dynamic, but more so it as being feminine energy and masculine energy being embodied by the female and the masculine, but being in balance. But when they came together, they created this sync here, this balance, this like one was beneficial to the other and the other was beneficial to the other. It's like they were meant to be. Okay, they had me to write proper use of technology, machines, and humans. And they had me to write reason for everything. But they had me to draw this symbol. Now, I see this symbol a lot when I look into a lot of ancient, like, hieroglyphs and things that they used to write down, books and different things. But how they shaped the world, that dome, and how they showed that everything was, like, everything under the sun was nothing new, but it was always like a recycling process going on. Okay, they have me to write what is control. Okay, let me see. Okay, then they have me to go into the protector of the oracle, and they have me to write, this protector reads auras, has discernment, discipline, and focus. And they were showing me about body snatching. Now, I've been seeing, I don't know, but lately it's like I've been seeing things differently, and I've been seeing how our vessels, when you are not taking care of your vessel on a spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, on any kind of level that is for your highest being and to raise your frequency, you're easily receptive to being body snatched. And I've been seeing like this same energy being like transferred in different people's bodies, but they've been allowing themselves to be used as a vessel to be body snatched. Okay, I don't know if okay, they had me to write, I hate, well, this was something that I think this was when Neo and the Oracle were speaking, and she was speaking about he hadn't been able to sleep, and she was like, I hate sleeping, or was that Morpheus? One of them, but they were like, I hate sleeping because we've been asleep too long, like, wake up, now that I'm woke, I don't want to go back to sleep. Okay, they had me to write, okay, this is mainly the part about the oracle and how the oracle, let me make sure. Okay, I don't need that. But how the oracle was like the mother of the matrix, and the creator of the matrix was like the father, like father time and mother time. And how the oracle is a person like a psychic, someone that can see what's going on in the world and is able to be like a glitch in the matrix. They're able to redirect things and it's more so like being in control, where they were really meant to not be in control, but it's more so like they were given a gift that could be used against the system. Okay. Okay, now at this part where I was writing this, they were showing how there are different entities, different agents, they call it Agent Smith within the Matrix or whatever, but different entities that were doing things to stop this prophecy from being fulfilled. They didn't want this I would say this end of their existence, the end of things as they knew it to. They didn't want this to end. They wanted to continue this cycle of reincarnating into a world where everything was chaotic and no one knew really what to do or how to save themselves, like keeping people asleep. Okay, but they were showing how they failed in trying to take this purpose, and it was like the prophecy was being fulfilled. The more that they tried to, this more so like that movie that I watched, the Celestian Prophecy, about basically they were talking about how everything that happened was a part of the plan, and all the attacks that were going on, it was a part of the plan as well. It was driving this person more to get to this purpose and to find out what this purpose was. But it was like the more that they attacked, it was showing more that the prophecy was being fulfilled, that the steps that were needed to be taken were being taken to get this purpose known here. Okay, let me see. Okay, now this is the part where they were getting to the key maker, and the key maker had access, from what I was seeing, he had access to the Akashic records. Now with this access, he was able to get them into doors, like to find different things that they had not really known or did not know that were, you know, like things that were lying dormant within them. They didn't have access to these things, but this key maker, more so like you know how when you have a hypnosis, like what I've been researching a lot in hypnosis, they help you to unlock certain things within you that you really didn't remember, or you don't fully remember in a conscious state, but they help you to remember these things, helping you to access this locked DNA here. Okay, they had me to write, what if it could all be over tomorrow? Freedom. They had me to write source, and then they had me to write infinite, architect, builder of the matrix, no one told me or no one knows, choice is the program, matrix based on your past lives, intuitive. Okay, now when I wrote this, the choice is the program, how they say we all have free will based upon, you know, the Bible and different things, but we all have free will to do, like to choose a side, basically to choose what we want to manifest into our lives, to choose the pathways in which we want to walk on or act upon. But it's all based upon the choices and the decisions that you make, it that shapes your reality here. Like showing you that you are source, you are the connection to source, and you are the creator within your own reality here. But it's up to you to make the choice to, like, the choice to activate yourself in this power, or to stand in this power of making clear decisions here. Okay, and the oracle, like the psychic or whatever, is the person that presents choice here. She helps you to choose, like, I know, okay, well, y'all here we're looking at psychics and stuff, but the psychic really doesn't, they don't really tell you what you need to do. They tell you the things that lead up to you making a choice of whether you want to go this way, that way, or another way. But they sum up everything to the point where you have to make the choice of whether you want to stay in certain things or to remove yourself or to continue on. You know, they give you a choice, they give you options, but they show you what these options will get you here. More so like allowing you to see what would lead up to certain things based upon choices that you make. Okay, now they had me to write making deal based on love or ability to escape the matrix. Right door to source, left door to the matrix, and it was a choice. And they had me to write hope is an illusion, carrier soul, love is power. Okay, they had me to write this part where Neo broke. He broke. It's like he, well, from what I saw, because it's kind of like he tricked himself into going into a pathway that led him back to love. But it was more so when he got there, he said something about, what what did he say? He was like, it was never for him to make the decision to end the Matrix, but more so to change the dynamic of what the Matrix is, like creating a new reality within this Matrix, like becoming the builder and not just the person that's controlled here. But when they were showing me this movie, now they were showing me this movie as like your mind here, like a game being played on your mind. But in this game, you don't recognize that you're in a game until you start to see the glitches. You start to see that certain things aren't really what they are, and you start to shift the dynamic, or you start to cause, like I would say, you start to cause certain things to happen when you make different choices based upon what you were taught or led to do. You make your own choices, these free will choices, but it being I would say it creating another pathway from the what is this thing, like from the script. You go outside of the script, and it creates another pathway. They had me to write, who is the real enemy, Agent Smith. Now, in this, when he did go back into the Matrix, it was like he was seeing that, well, after he talked to Source or whatever, it was like he was seeing that, well, no, that was like the programmer or the person that created the Matrix itself. Like a demigod or something, but they were showing me it as like, he was able to see what the problem was with the Matrix, and how he could change the software, the programming of it. It was deep, y'all. It was deep and it was crazy, but he had to find who the real enemy was, and not just see it as the Agent Smith, but who created the Agent Smiths of the game or whatever. Like his enemy was hidden in plain sight. Okay, that's all of the notes from that movie. But they had me to write some things down because I was meditating or doing something, and I was just writing down different things. I think I was doing like a serotonin and endorphin. I think it was endorphin, but I was doing that like but like an activation of it, but more so like implementing these frequencies within yourself. And it was like a 7 chakra healing thing, but it was more so like a healing session that I was in. And they had me to go to some notes that I took last year. I wrote the date on it. It's October of last year, and they had me to write, well, I wrote on the paper, this time it won't be the same. Now, I went back into my other notes and that I had wrote with this note, and I had written down like a dream that I had. But in this dream, I'm not going to tell the details of this dream because things have come to pass since this dream that was dream. And it was more so, when I looked over these notes, it was more so like I had a premonition of things that were to come into my life, and these things have manifested into my life. But the things that were to come into my life, they were to come based upon certain moves that I make, how I switched up certain things about myself and within my surroundings, and how me changing within myself affected the surroundings that I have now. But seeing that difference from when I wrote this up until now, and it tied into that movie. Okay, let me see, what else did I write? Okay, they then had me to write premonition to self, ability to speak, communicate, dream to future self. They then had me to write future life progression. I haven't done this yet because I kind of got a little spooked when I started looking more into it, because it's like you meet your future self. But I think I've done it before, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I'm going to be in the process of doing that over these next few days or whatever. But yeah, and I've been looking into that. So I wrote time travel activation. The time machine is the mind programming and guided by you and the connection with source. They had me to write fairy protection, and they had me to go into what the symbolism of fairies is or are. They had me to write wealth, protection, magic, imagination, prosperity, abundance. And they then had me to go into I think I was listening to a hearse. It was like an affirmation hearse that was supposed to help you to speak life into yourself and speak wealth into yourself. And so I wrote, I am great. I allow my greatness to shine. I am stepping confidently into my greatness. I awaken with happiness. I give myself full permission to be all of me and to activate a higher frequency. They had me to write Big Shake Up, The Grand Awakening, and they had me to write the song by Amy Allen and Pink Sweats. It's called What a Time to Be Alive. So I have some cards with me, but they're not guiding me to go into the card reading, so I'm just going to leave this here because a lot of what I was getting from it was based upon what is going on now in these times, about it being a big shake-up. But it's more so for people to wake up, to acknowledge their reasons for being here, that purpose in life, and to realize that it's like you are in control. Okay, now that goes back into these notes. When Morpheus was speaking, he was speaking to the city, the nation of Zion or whatever, but he was speaking about how the fear that the machines wanted to implement into the humans, to be fearful of leveling up, to be fearful of what was to come, to be fearful of this prophecy that had to be fulfilled, but more so wanting them to stay in a state of fear here. So I'm gonna leave these here. Let Spirit guide you with these messages. All of my information for contacting me is available in the description box below. Bye.